The kneeling of the NFL players has nothing to do with the love or lack of support of soldiers. Stop being sheep.
It's a young samurai, I smoke a spliff in the cut, then I pass a lot to my bro. No fuck with my flow. Couple bad bitches and a cup of that Joe. So it's just THC.
San Diego or LA Chargers. What they've done, there was only a few players who kneeled, so I respect the ones who did stand. But for the whole franchise of the NFL, you disrespect my country, my flag. And I'm really sorry to see some of this stuff go. But you guys made your own bed. I will no longer spend any money on any NFL gear. I will no longer watch any of the games. And I will certainly no longer follow anything ESPN, NFL, anything that supports them. They wouldn't let some of the players wear the cleats for the 9/11, and they wouldn't let some of the Dallas Cowboys wear the support for their police officers who were shot and killed. But it's okay to kneel for your flag. Well, I have friends and I have had family who serves. So to me, that's really disrespectful. And I can no longer stand for that kind of disrespect. Some of the stuff I'm really sad to see go. I have a nice hat my girlfriend bought me for Christmas. That's a shame. This is my grandfather's uniform from World War II. He was first generation Mexican, and he never complained. He fought in Battle of the Bulge, and he voluntarily signed up to invade Japan if that time was ever going to come, which it didn't need to, thank God, because he might not return from it. I have friends right now who are serving in the armed forces, that is Army and Air Force, and I support them, and I support what they do for me and my country.
BBN, Jack Frost, what's up, party people? Hey, before the video even start, hit that like button, subscribe, and join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I don't think people get it. I don't think some of the nation understands what's actually going on. I think that since people are so used to being led around like sheep, to listening to the loudest voice, that sometimes common sense just can't be understood. I don't think it's a possibility. I grew up in a nation. I was fortunate. Let's just keep it a buck. I was fortunate to have a lot of my teenage years in the 90s. Because in the 90s, before 9/11 and after the 80s, it was bad, but it wasn't as terrible. We were fortunate to have a Democratic president in office, for one. Two, I live in New York City, so I was also fortunate to do 4 years of David Dinkins. He was a black mayor. So I was fortunate. I didn't have to grow up in the crack epidemic of the 80s. I didn't have to grow up in a post 9/11 America where racism is just, it's not even that it's prevalent anymore. It's overt. You know, when I was growing up, you didn't have to be overtly racist. Nowadays, the racism is so bad that you have people acquiring ideologies, not even ideologies, acquiring perceptions of reality that even though they're not racist, they are backing racist agendas unknowingly. It's happening all over the place. The latest one is just this NFL thing. No NFL player. Okay, first of all, let's just break something down for you. The NFL didn't even film national anthems until a couple of years ago. And before then, they didn't even play the national anthem until the government paid for them to start playing the national anthem and doing the waving of the flag before games to improve love, national love. So everybody could just understand this. The government paid the NFL to initially make this part of the before game ceremonies. The government paid for this. Just so everybody knows, the government paid for this. Secondly, these things were not televised. I can remember just as far back as to 10 years ago that the only national anthems you saw were during the Super Bowl, during World Series games, and during hockey playoff games, maybe, during the Stanley Cup. Like, this is when you saw the freaking national anthem being sang. This is when you saw it. They did not show it on every telecast. So for all of these people to be upset now, all of a sudden, you didn't grow up with the national anthem coming on your TV. It didn't happen because they didn't show it. Okay, it didn't happen. This was not something that they show. It just recently became part of the normality of a football telecast. And to be perfectly honest with you, many of these telecasts that Colin Kaepernick that people are upset about him for kneeling for weren't even on TV. Matter of fact, the only reason why anybody knows that Colin Kaepernick was kneeling in the first place was because some random freaking reporter just decided to ask one day. He had been kneeling. He'd been kneeling. And then one day, some random reporter decided that they were going to ask him about why he was kneeling. And he said, well, I'm kneeling because of the injustices done to colored people in America. He didn't say, I'm kneeling because of them damn soldiers. He didn't say none of this. Look, man, I respect the soldiers. That has to be one of the most difficult jobs that an individual can do. Knowing that you're going to be going somewhere behind enemy lines where anything and everything is trying to kill you. Knowing that you're going to be put into situations and positions where you're going to have to kill other human beings, whether you like it or not. Being a soldier is one of the most difficult decisions, I'm assuming, that a human being can make on the planet when you're living in a country that's not war-torn. I respect them. But this whole kneeling thing has nothing to do with the soldiers. Zero to do with the soldiers. Every single time someone brings up disrespect to the soldiers because of an individual kneeling, it's called subterfuge. Okay? That's like when you're arguing with one person about something that happened, and then them deciding that they can't win that argument because you are right. They decide to bring up something that has nothing to do with the situation at hand, but is very important and not something that you can deny. That's it. That's what's happening. The soldiers are important. Whether you hate this country, whether you love this country, as long as you live in this country, you got to respect soldiers. So because they don't want to do anything, and when I say they, I mean the powers that be. Since they don't want to do anything about the the treatment of black and brown people in America, what they do is they make everybody say, look over here in my right hand while I'm doing this other thing with my left hand. And depending on how you feel about the initial issue is depending on which way you're going to sway. I live in a good community. Not me, I'm saying this is what, some MOB effort, some people are saying. I don't want to disrespect them, but this is some people's point of view. I live in a good community. This whole police thing, that's just, that stuff ain't real. Police don't really do that. All of this stuff on the news, that's like 1 out of every 10,000 police officers. That's really not happening enough for us to be so worried about it. Yeah, but then the people in big cities, they're saying, damn it, every time I see a police officer, he's doing some kind of BS. Because 9 times out of 10, whenever we see a police officer and you live in a big city, they are doing some type of BS. This is not exaggeration or hyperbole. They literally are. It's rare in a big city to see a police officer doing his job, then when his job is done, not doing anything extra. Usually, you have a police officer doing their job and then doing extra. Or not even doing their job, just doing extra off the rip when you live in big cities. When you live in smaller communities, these police officers know that to a degree they're going to have to be held responsible. So now they know to that Caucasian guy, they have to treat him a certain way. But to that colored individual, whatever, nobody's going to care. These people are burning NFL apparel because the NFL players, in reality, the majority of the NFL players are just protesting against Trump. So let's not get that confused with the initial protest. The initial protest is something totally different than what the NFL is protesting against currently. Currently, the NFL is protesting against Trump because they couldn't just stand there and do nothing. When, in reality, as far as Trump is concerned, they should have stood there and did nothing. You know how you defeat a bully? You see, in reality, especially a bully who really can't beat you, all he's trying to do is make it so that when you decide to go up against the bully, he has so many people in his corner that even though he can't individually beat you, he has enough people to have his back. Once Trump became president, that's the type of situation he's in. What the NFL needed to do was just stand pat for a couple of more months. Eat crow. But at the same time, allow the individual players to say something. You see, once they started all taking a knee together, it became a different issue. They should have went to the players who wanted to take knees for the actual cause. And on the side, let them know, do you. But they didn't do that. What they did was, we're going to protest Trump. So everybody is going to do it together. I personally think the NFL made a bad move. Because by now, protesting Trump and not protesting the actual problem, you're not on the right side of God. So now it's just a devil fighting the devil. Anyway, leave your comments down below. I want to know what y'all think about this. I personally think, You know, I understand where the heart of some of these individuals are at because they love the soldiers. We all love the soldiers. I just think that in their certain situations that they can't really see what the bigger picture is. A lot of black and brown people being killed, murdered, and there being no repercussions to the police. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Keep each other safe. That's all I got on this one. See y'all tomorrow. I'm out. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you would like to help dictate the direction that this channel takes, please leave a comment. All comments are appreciated, whether positive or negative. Thank you very much and enjoy your day. And remember, positive thoughts cause for positive things to happen. Let's get it.